battle is won before it begins. Success is secured before the day starts. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Most people wake up each morning already losing. They start their day reacting, hitting snooze, checking messages, rushing through routines. Before they even get a chance to think, they've already given away control. They let circumstances dictate their actions, their energy, their emotions. And by the time the day ends, they wonder why they feel exhausted, unaccomplished, and stuck in the same cycle. But winners don't leave their day to chance. They don't wake up hoping things will go well. They make a decision before the day even begins. They take control before the world has a chance to pull them in every direction. They wake up with intention, with purpose, with a clear plan to move forward, and that's why they win. Success doesn't just happen, it is designed. The people who achieve the most in life don't rely on motivation or luck. They rely on preparation. They understand that the first actions of the day determine everything. They don't wait for the right mood, the right moment, or the perfect conditions. They create them. The question is, are you ready to take that kind of control? Are you ready to stop leaving your days, your success, and your future to chance? Because once you understand how to win the day before it starts, everything changes. This is what separates the top 1% from everyone else. This is how you move from average to extraordinary. Stay with me, because by the time this is over, you'll never approach your mornings the same way again. Number 1, decide tonight that tomorrow will be yours. Decide tonight that tomorrow will be yours. Not just another morning to stumble through, not another day to waste on distractions or second guessing. No, you take control before the sun even rises. Because if you don't, the world will. Most people don't think about this. They go to bed exhausted, scrolling through their phones, letting their minds drift into tomorrow without a plan. And then they wake up already behind. Their first thoughts are foggy. Their energy is low. They move through the morning reacting to whatever comes their way, instead of leading their own life. That's not how you win. That's not how you build success. You see, your future is being shaped before the day even begins. Every night you are making a choice. Even if you don't realize it, you are either setting yourself up to wake up strong, focused, and ready, or you're leaving it to chance. And when you leave it to chance, you lose. Because the world is full of distractions. The moment you wake up, notifications start buzzing, people start demanding your attention, and unexpected problems start showing up. And if you don't already know what you're doing, your entire day will slip through your fingers before you even get started. That's why you must decide before you go to sleep that tomorrow will be yours. Not maybe, not if you feel like it. You decide, you make it non-negotiable. And it starts with something simple, writing down what matters most. Not a long to-do list filled with useless tasks. No, just 3 things. The 3 things that, if completed, will make tomorrow a success. Do this before bed. Take a moment to sit down, clear your mind, and put it on paper. When you do this, something powerful happens. You stop guessing. You wake up with a purpose. You know exactly where to direct your energy instead of wasting time figuring it out in the morning. Think about how different your day would be if instead of waking up groggy and unsure, you already knew your mission. You already knew the most important things you needed to do. That kind of clarity changes everything. Because when you wake up and take immediate action, momentum builds. And momentum is what separates high achievers from everyone else. They don't wake up lost. They don't spend their mornings scrolling through their phones or wandering through the day with no aim. They move. They execute. They get things done before most people have even decided what they want to do. And it's not just about writing things down. You have to prepare yourself mentally. Before you close your eyes, remind yourself why tomorrow matters. Remind yourself what you're working for. It's easy to forget. It's easy to let life pull you in different directions. But when you go to sleep with your goals fresh in your mind, you wake up with purpose. You wake up ready. And here's something else. How you spend your last hour before bed will decide how you wake up. If you spend it staring at a screen, flooding your mind with distractions, don't be surprised when you wake up feeling drained. But if you spend it wisely, reading something that fuels your mind, planning your next moves, getting your body ready for rest, you wake up feeling in control. You wake up with energy. You wake up ready to go. Most people don't do this. They treat the night like it doesn't matter. They tell themselves, I'll figure it out in the morning. And then they wonder why they feel lost, why they wake up late, why they waste the first few hours doing nothing that actually moves them forward. But not you. Not anymore. You don't leave tomorrow to chance. You don't let distractions control your morning. You don't let laziness steal your potential. Because the truth is, every successful person, every single one, has learned this: tomorrow is won the night before. It's not won when your alarm goes off. It's not won when you step into your job, or open your laptop, or start your workout. It's won before you even wake up. It's won when you decide right now that you will take control. And when you do this, when you prepare, when you set your priorities, when you commit to waking up with a mission, everything changes. You stop living like everyone else. You stop wasting time. You stop waking up lost. Instead, you rise with confidence. You step into the day already ahead. And that's how you win. That's how you move from average to extraordinary. So decide tonight. Decide that tomorrow is not just another day. It's your day. You own it. You control it. And you will make it count. Number 2, your first action controls your entire day. The way you start your day decides everything. From the moment you open your eyes, you are either setting yourself up for success or giving your control away. And most people don't even realize it. They wake up, check their phones, scroll through social media, hit snooze a few times, and then wonder why they feel tired, unmotivated, and behind. It's because the first action you take in the morning is setting the tone for everything that follows. If you start slow, distracted, or lazy, your entire day will follow that pattern. But if you start with purpose, with action, with a decision to take control, that momentum will carry you forward. Most people don't wake up with a plan. They wake up reacting to notifications, reacting to their emotions, reacting to whatever happens to be around them. And when you live like that, you never really take control. You just go through the motions, hoping things will fall into place. But let me tell you something. Hope is not a strategy. Wishing for a productive day won't make it happen. Success doesn't come from chance. It comes from choice. It comes from making a decision. The very moment you wake up, that you are going to own your time and your actions. That's why your first action is so important. Because whatever you do first is programming your brain. If the first thing you do is scroll on your phone, you're telling your brain that distractions come first. If you hit snooze, you're telling your brain that avoiding effort is okay. And that small decision, that one moment of weakness, spills into everything else. You move slower. You second guess yourself. You put off the hard work. Before you know it, hours have passed, and you haven't done anything meaningful. That's how people waste their potential. That's how days, weeks, even years slip away. But imagine waking up and taking control immediately. No hesitation, no distractions. You open your eyes, and instead of reaching for your phone, you get up, you move with purpose. Maybe you stretch. Maybe you drink a glass of water. Maybe you step outside for some fresh air. Whatever it is, it's intentional. And most importantly, it's yours. You choose how you begin. You decide how your mind will be programmed for the rest of the day. Successful people don't waste their mornings. They don't leave their energy to chance. They create momentum from the very start. The first action of the day is like a signal to your brain, telling it how to operate. If you start strong, your brain follows. You'll think clearer. You'll move faster. You'll feel more confident. And that feeling will carry you through the rest of the day. Think about the days when you've woken up with energy, with a clear plan, with no hesitation. Those days feel different, don't they? You get more done. You feel more in control. Your mind is sharper. Your decisions are better. And by the time the evening comes, you look back and feel proud. That's the power of momentum. But you don't get that feeling by accident. You don't wake up with that kind of energy unless you create it. And you create it by making the right choice first thing in the morning. So what should your first action be? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be intentional. It could be something as simple as standing up immediately, instead of hitting snooze. It could be writing down your goals for the day, before anything else distracts you. It could be starting with exercise, because moving your body wakes up your mind. The action itself is not as important as the decision behind it. The decision that says, I am in control of today, not my phone, not my doubts, not my laziness. And here's the truth. If you don't take control first thing in the morning, someone else will. Your job will. Social media will. The world will. If you don't decide how your day starts, the world will decide for you. And that's a dangerous place to be, because the world doesn't care about your success. It doesn't care about your growth, your dreams, or your potential. It only cares about taking your time and attention. That's why most people feel like they never have enough time. It's not that they don't have time, it's that they give it away too easily. But not you, not anymore. From now on, you make the decision before the world has a chance to make it for you. You wake up and instead of falling into distractions, you take control. You take that first action with intention, with confidence, with a commitment to making today better than yesterday. And when you do that, everything changes. You become sharper, more disciplined, more focused. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You move faster, think clearer, and get more done. And let me tell you something. Even if the rest of your day doesn't go as planned, that first action still matters. Because no matter what happens, you started strong. You started with discipline. You started with purpose. And that means you're already ahead of most people. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, ask yourself one thing: will I take control, or will I give it away? Will I start with purpose, or will I let the world decide for me? Because the choice is yours. And that choice, your first action, controls everything. Number 3, stop hitting snooze. Win the first decision. The way you start your day determines everything. That first decision you make the moment you wake up sets the tone for how the rest of your day will unfold. And for too many people, the first decision they make is the wrong one. They hit snooze. They tell themselves, just 5 more minutes. But 5 more minutes turns into 10, then 15. And before they know it, they're running late, feeling behind, and already losing the day before it's even started. That little button seems harmless, but it's one of the most dangerous habits you can have, because it trains your mind to delay action, to procrastinate, to put off what needs to be done. And that habit doesn't just stay in the morning, it follows you all day long. Think about what hitting snooze really means. It means you're choosing comfort over progress. It means you're telling yourself that sleep is more important than your goals. It means you're letting your feelings decide what you do instead of your discipline. And that is the first battle you have to win. Because if you can't win the small battles, how do you expect to win the big ones? If you can't even get yourself out of bed when you said you would, how are you going to push through challenges, stay focused on your goals, and build the life you want? That's why this matters. It's not just about waking up on time. It's about training your mind to be stronger than your excuses. Most people don't realize that hitting snooze does more than just steal a few extra minutes. It actually makes you more tired. It messes with your brain, confuses your body, and makes it harder to feel awake and alert. That's why people who hit snooze multiple times feel groggy, sluggish, and unfocused even after they get up. They think they're getting more rest, but in reality, they're making it harder on themselves. Your body wants a rhythm, it wants consistency. And when you interrupt that with snooze after snooze, you're breaking that rhythm. You're making it harder to get up, harder to feel energized, and harder to be productive. But more than anything, hitting snooze is a message to yourself. It's a message that says, I don't have to do what I said I would do. It's a message that says, my goals can wait. And the problem with that message is that it doesn't stay in the morning. It stays in your mindset. When you start your day with delay, that delay shows up in everything you do. You hesitate before making decisions. You put off important work. You find reasons to avoid what needs to be done. And that hesitation, that delay, is what keeps people stuck. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine making the right decision the moment you wake up. No hesitation, no delay. The alarm goes off, and you get up. Immediately, you take control of your body and your mind before your feelings have a chance to talk you out of it. That's winning the first battle of the day. And that one decision creates momentum. You start the day with a victory, and that victory follows you. You move with more confidence. You don't second guess yourself. You feel in control of your time and your actions. And when you feel in control, everything changes. Success is about discipline. It's about learning to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. And that starts with the smallest habits. That starts with not hitting snooze. That starts with proving to yourself that your word means something. That when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Because when you can trust yourself with the small things, you can trust yourself with the big things. Some people will say, it's just a few minutes. It doesn't really matter. But that's not true. It does matter. Because those few minutes represent something bigger. They represent your ability to take control. They represent your ability to make a decision and stick with it. They represent the difference between living life on your terms and letting your comfort zone control you. And that difference is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. So here's what you do. Tonight, before you go to bed, make a decision. Decide that tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, you will get up. No second guessing. No excuses. No snooze button. Set your alarm. Place it across the room if you have to. And when it rings, get up. Stand up immediately. Don't give your mind a chance to negotiate. Don't let your feelings decide. You take action before your excuses can stop you. And once you do that, you'll realize something. Getting up isn't the hard part. The hard part is making the decision. And when you win that first decision, everything else becomes easier. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. But you do have to start winning the small battles. Because those small battles build the mindset that wins the big ones. It's about proving to yourself that you are in control, that you decide how your day goes, that you are stronger than your excuses. And when you start every day with that mindset, nothing can stop you. Number 4, do one small productive task right away. The moment you wake up, the first thing you do sets the tone for everything that follows. It might seem small, but that first action carries more power than most people realize. Most people wake up, check their phone, scroll through notifications, and before they even step out of bed, they've already lost control of their day. Their mind is filled with distractions, and their focus is scattered before they've even done a single meaningful thing. But here's the truth. If you want to take control of your life, you have to take control of your mornings. And the simplest way to do that? Start your day with one small productive task, right away. Success isn't built on huge, dramatic changes all at once. It's built on small, consistent actions, repeated daily. And the best way to create momentum in your day is to start with something productive. The moment you wake up, it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to take hours, but it has to be intentional. It has to be something that signals to your mind, today we are moving forward, because the way you start will influence how you continue. If your first action is lazy, unfocused, or unintentional, your day will follow that pattern. But if your first action is strong, productive, and intentional, that energy carries through everything you do. Most people struggle with getting started. They think they need to feel motivated before they take action. But that's not how it works. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't wait for motivation to strike. You take action first, and motivation follows. That's why doing one small productive task right away is so important. It gets you moving before your mind has a chance to come up with excuses. It forces you to step into action before hesitation takes over. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. But when you move right away, you break through resistance before it has a chance to build. So what should that first action be? It depends on you. It could be something as simple as making your bed. It might seem like a small, insignificant thing, but it's not about the task itself. It's about the discipline behind it. It's about proving to yourself that you can take control and complete something. No matter how small, that tiny win creates momentum, and momentum is everything. You might start by drinking a glass of water, stretching for a few minutes, or writing down your top priorities for the day. The task itself isn't as important as the fact that you are choosing to be intentional with your morning. Think about how different your day would feel if, instead of wasting the first 30 minutes being distracted, you spent them setting yourself up for success. Imagine waking up and immediately knocking out a small productive task. Instantly, you feel a sense of progress. You feel in control. You feel like you're ahead instead of behind. That feeling alone is enough to shift your entire day. Because when you win the morning, the rest of the day follows that energy. But if you start the day scattered, distracted, or behind, that energy lingers too. Your mind loves completion. When you start something and finish it, even if it's small, your brain releases a sense of accomplishment. That little feeling of success gives you energy. It makes you want to keep going. It creates a mental momentum that pushes you forward. That's why people who start the day with a small, productive action often find themselves naturally doing more. One completed task leads to another, and before they know it, they're deep into a productive day. But when you start the day passively, when you waste the first moments scrolling or doing nothing intentional, it's much harder to shift into action later. There's a reason why some people seem to always be ahead, while others always feel like they're struggling to catch up. The difference is in their habits. The successful person doesn't have more time. They just use their time differently. They don't wake up and let the day happen to them. They take control from the start. They create a rhythm of productivity instead of waiting for it to happen. And it all starts with that first small task. This isn't about making things complicated. It's about making things simple. One action, one small productive step. That's all it takes to start shifting your day in the right direction. And the best part, anyone can do it. You don't need talent, luck, or motivation. You just need to make a decision. A decision to stop starting your days passively and start taking control instead. Tonight, before you go to bed, decide what your first productive task will be. Don't wait until the morning to figure it out. Plan it now. Set yourself up for success. Then when you wake up, don't think about it. Don't negotiate with yourself. Just do it. No hesitation, no excuses. Get up and take that first action immediately. Because once you do, you'll realize something powerful. Momentum is real. The hardest part is getting started. But once you do, everything else becomes easier. This is how you win the day before it even starts. This is how you take control instead of letting the day control you. One small productive action, right away. That's the key. And once you build this habit, you'll start to notice something incredible. You'll have more energy, more confidence, more focus, and before you know it, you won't just be winning the morning, you'll be winning in life. Number 5. Wake up for yourself, not the world. The way you start your day matters more than you think. Most people wake up every morning not for themselves, but for the world. They wake up because their alarm tells them to. They wake up because their job demands it. They wake up because they have responsibilities waiting for them. But that's the problem. They wake up reacting to life instead of taking charge of it. And when you start your day like that, you're already behind. You're already moving for someone else, answering to someone else, living for someone else. But what if for once you woke up for yourself? What if instead of waking up because you have to, you woke up because you choose to? That one shift could change everything. When you wake up for yourself, you take control of your day before the world does. You don't roll over and check your phone the first thing in the morning, letting messages, emails, and notifications tell you what to think, how to feel, or what to worry about. Instead, you take those first few moments for yourself. You wake up with a purpose. You decide how your day is going to go before the world has a chance to dictate it for you. And that's powerful. Because the way you start is the way you continue. If you start the day in a rush, overwhelmed, or stressed, that energy follows you. But if you start the day centered, focused, and intentional, that energy carries through everything you do. Most people live their lives like a pinball, bouncing from one obligation to the next, reacting to every demand, constantly feeling like they don't have control. And it all starts the moment they open their eyes. The world pulls them in different directions before they even have a chance to decide what they want. But the truth is, your life is yours. Your time is yours. Your energy is yours. And if you don't take control of it, someone else will. That's why waking up for yourself is so important. It's about reclaiming your day. It's about saying, before I give my energy to the world, I'm going to give some to myself first. Think about the difference between someone who wakes up and immediately jumps into emails, social media, or work, versus someone who wakes up and spends their first moments doing something meaningful for themselves. Maybe they exercise, maybe they read, maybe they take a few deep breaths and set their intentions for the day. The first person is already consumed by the world's demands, but the second person, they're in control. They're starting their day with clarity, not chaos. Waking up for yourself doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities. It doesn't mean neglecting your job, your family, or your commitments. It means making sure that before you pour your energy into everything and everyone else, you take a moment to invest in yourself first. It means understanding that if you don't set the tone for your day, someone else will. And when you let the world set the tone, it's almost never in your favor. The world will pull you in 100 different directions, if you let it. That's why you have to take control from the start. For most people, the morning is the only time they truly have to themselves. Before the phone starts ringing, before the emails start flooding in, before the responsibilities start piling up, that first hour belongs to you. And what you do with it matters. If you use it wisely, you set yourself up for success. If you waste it, you spend the rest of the day playing catch-up. That's why the most successful people guard their mornings. They don't let distractions take over. They don't start the day on someone else's terms. They make sure the first thing they do is something that moves them forward. This isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. or following some strict routine. It's about mindset. It's about deciding that your life isn't just about what you owe to the world. It's about what you owe to yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, you won't have anything left to give. And that's why so many people feel drained before the day even really begins. They've given everything away before they've given anything to themselves. So tonight, make a decision. When you wake up tomorrow, don't reach for your phone. Don't start your day reacting to the world. Take a moment for yourself. Do something that makes you better, even if it's small. Maybe it's stretching. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's just sitting in silence and breathing before the noise of the day begins. Whatever it is, make sure it's for you. Because the way you start your day determines how you live your life. And if you keep waking up for the world instead of for yourself, you'll always feel like life is happening to you, instead of you being in control. This is your life. This is your time. Don't let the world take it from you before you've even had a chance to claim it. Wake up for yourself, take control, and watch how different your days start to feel. When you do that, you don't just win the morning, you win your life. Number 6. Win in silence. Dominate in action. Most people talk too much about what they're going to do. They announce their plans. They tell everyone about their next big move. They want recognition before they've even put in the work. And that's where they go wrong. Because talking about success is not the same as achieving it. Telling people your dreams doesn't bring them any closer. If anything, it takes away your focus. Instead of working in silence, you start looking for approval. You start seeking validation before you've even earned it. And that weakens you. It makes you dependent on what others think instead of what you do. Success doesn't come from words. It comes from action. It comes from discipline, from consistency, from effort that nobody sees. That's why the most successful people move in silence. They don't waste time trying to impress people. They don't seek approval for every little thing. They put their heads down, they work, and they let the results speak for themselves. And when the time comes, they dominate. Not with words, but with action. They don't tell you what they're going to do. They show you what they've already done. And that's the difference. Most people don't understand the power of silence. They think if they don't announce their goals, they don't exist. But the truth is, when you keep your goals to yourself, you keep your power. You don't give anyone a chance to discourage you. You don't open the door to doubts and opinions that don't matter. You stay focused. You stay locked in. And when you finally achieve what you set out to do, there's nothing left to say because your results say it all. Think about the last time you told someone about a goal and they responded with doubt. Maybe they said it was unrealistic. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they tried to bring up all the reasons it wouldn't work. And maybe, just maybe, that doubt got to you. That's what happens when you talk too soon. You invite negativity into a process that requires focus. But when you move in silence, none of that matters. No one can stop a plan they don't know about. No one can shake a vision they can't see. Now, this doesn't mean you never share your dreams. It doesn't mean you never seek advice or guidance. But it does mean you choose carefully. You don't share your plans with people who haven't earned the right to hear them. You don't waste time explaining yourself to those who don't believe in you. Instead, you take all that energy and put it into action. Because at the end of the day, words don't build businesses. Words don't create success. Action does. The world respects results. It respects proof. That's why the ones who dominate don't need to announce it. They don't need to convince anyone of their worth. They just win, and by the time the world notices, it's already too late. They've already built something unshakable. They've already become unstoppable, and that's what you need to do. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop looking for approval before you've put in the work. Keep your focus. Keep your power. Move in silence. Because when the time comes, you won't need to say a word. Your results will speak for themselves. And that's when you dominate. Number 7. Make your first win unbreakable. Most people don't realize that the way you start something sets the tone for everything that follows. If you win right at the beginning, you create a momentum that carries you forward. But if you start weak, if you let distractions get in the way, if you take shortcuts, that weak beginning follows you. That's why your first win of the day, of the week, of the month has to be solid. It has to be unbreakable. Because once you lock in that first win, it builds a foundation that nothing can shake. Winning isn't just about achieving a goal. It's about setting a standard for yourself. It's about proving that you have the discipline, the focus, and the commitment to follow through. That's why the first thing you do in the morning matters. If the first thing you do is hit snooze, if the first thing you do is check your phone and get lost in distractions, you've already lost the first battle of the day. But if you wake up with purpose, if you take control of your morning, you send a signal to yourself that says, I'm in charge today. And that small victory changes everything. Success isn't built on big wins that happen once in a while. It's built on small wins that happen every single day. And the first win of your day sets the pattern. If you start with discipline, you carry that discipline into everything else. If you start with energy, you bring that energy into your work, into your decisions, into your interactions. But if you start with hesitation, with laziness, with a lack of direction, that feeling follows you too. That's why you can't afford to let your first win be weak. You have to make it unbreakable. Think about the difference between someone who wakes up and immediately gets moving versus someone who drags themselves out of bed, barely awake, already behind. The first person is in control. The second person is reacting to the day instead of owning it. And that difference isn't just about one morning. It adds up. It multiplies. One strong morning leads to a strong week. A strong week leads to a strong month. And over time, it shapes your entire life. It's not about perfection. You don't need to get everything right all the time. But you do need to set a standard for yourself. When you commit to making your first win unbreakable, you start carrying yourself differently. You start expecting more from yourself. And when you expect more, you achieve more. That's why the best performers, the most successful people, they don't leave their first win up to chance. They don't wait to feel motivated. They don't hope for a good day. They create it. They win the morning. They win the start. And that win carries them through. There's something powerful about knowing you've already won before the day even starts. It gives you confidence. It gives you an edge. You walk into every situation knowing that you're already ahead. And when challenges come, and they will, you're not shaken. You're not thrown off track. Because you've already built a foundation of success that nothing can break. Most people don't take their first win seriously. They think it doesn't matter. But that's why most people struggle with consistency. That's why they have good days and bad days, but no real control. When you make your first win unbreakable, you take control of your momentum. You don't let outside forces dictate how your day goes. You set the tone, and everything else falls in line. It's easy to overlook the small things. It's easy to think that skipping one morning routine, one workout, one moment of discipline won't matter. But that's exactly how people fail. One small compromise at a time. When you let one thing slide, it becomes easier to let the next thing slide. And before you know it, you're off track. That's why the first win has to be strong. It has to be something you commit to, no matter what. So whatever it is for you, whether it's getting up early, exercising, journaling, working on a goal, make it count. Make it something that reminds you that you are in control. Because when you prove to yourself that you can win once, you start believing that you can win again. And that belief is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about building the habit of winning every single day. Success starts before the world even wakes up. It starts in those quiet moments when no one is watching. And if you can win there, if you can make your first win unbreakable, nothing can stop you, because you've already decided who you are. And when you decide that, the rest of the world has no choice but to follow. Number 8. Success is planned, not wished for. Most people spend their lives wishing for success. They sit back and hope things will work out. They dream about a better future, a better job, a better life. But wishing doesn't change anything. Hoping doesn't move you forward. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you plan for. Because success isn't an accident. It's not something that just happens to you one day. It's something you create. It's something you build step by step, with intention, with focus, with discipline. Look at the people who achieve great things, the ones who seem unstoppable, who keep growing, who keep winning. Do you think they got there by accident? Do you think they just woke up one day and found success waiting for them? No. They had a plan. They knew what they wanted, and they took action. They didn't just sit around hoping something good would happen. They made it happen. And that's the difference between those who win and those who stay stuck. One group is waiting. The other is working. One is making excuses. The other is making progress. One is dreaming. The other is doing. If you don't have a plan, then your success is left up to chance. And chance doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. If you want something, you have to map out a way to get there. You have to take control. Because if you don't plan your life, someone else will. Your boss will. Your circumstances will. Distractions will. And before you know it, years have gone by, and you're still stuck in the same place, wondering why things haven't changed. Success is predictable. It follows a pattern. And that pattern is built on small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's built on discipline, on commitment, on making decisions that move you forward instead of keeping you stuck. It's built on knowing where you're going and taking steps every single day to get there. That's why you can't afford to just wish. You have to be strategic. You have to be intentional. Think about it. If someone wants to get in shape but they don't have a workout plan, do you think they'll see results? If someone wants to build wealth but they don't have a financial plan, do you think they'll get rich? If someone wants to improve their life but they don't have a clear goal, do you think anything will change? Of course not. Because success doesn't reward the lazy. It doesn't reward the unprepared. It rewards the ones who are willing to take control of their own destiny. A goal without a plan is just a wish. You can say you want to be successful. You can say you want to be healthier, wealthier, happier. But if you don't back that up with a clear strategy, a real plan, then it's nothing more than a fantasy. And fantasies don't build businesses. They don't create legacies. They don't make an impact. When you have a plan, everything changes. You stop feeling lost. You stop feeling like life is just happening to you. You wake up every day with a purpose. You know exactly what you need to do. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop making excuses. And most importantly, you start making progress. And progress is what builds confidence. It's what turns small wins into big wins. It's what takes you from where you are to where you want to be. Some people say they don't have time to plan, but that's just another excuse. If you don't have time to plan, you don't have time to succeed. Because planning isn't something extra. It's not something you do when you have time. It's the foundation of everything. It's the difference between drifting through life and designing your future. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. But you do need direction. You do need to know where you're going. And you need to take action every single day to move in that direction. Because small actions, repeated over time, create massive results. That's how success is built. Not overnight, not by luck, but by planning and following through. People love to talk about success as if it's some mysterious thing that only a few lucky people get to experience. But that's not true. Success is available to anyone who is willing to plan for it, work for it, commit to it, It's not about where you start. It's about what you do with what you have. It's about refusing to leave your future up to chance. It's about deciding that you are in control, and then proving it with your actions. So stop wishing, stop waiting, start planning, start taking action. Because the future isn't going to hand you success. You have to go out and claim it. And the only way to do that is by making a plan and sticking to it. That's how you win. That's how you change your life. That's how you turn dreams into reality. Number 9. Decide how you will handle challenges. Life isn't easy. You already know that. It's full of challenges, obstacles, setbacks. No matter who you are, no matter how talented, disciplined, or motivated you may be, life is going to test you. It's going to throw curveballs. It's going to put roadblocks in your way. It's going to make things harder than you expected. And if you're not prepared for that, if you haven't already decided how you're going to handle those moments, then every challenge is going to knock you down. Every problem is going to shake your confidence. Every setback is going to feel like the end. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because here's the truth. Challenges are inevitable. But how you respond to them is a choice. Struggles are guaranteed. But whether they break you or make you stronger, that's up to you. Most people wait until they're in the middle of the storm before they decide how they're going to handle it. They wait until things fall apart before they figure out what to do. And by then, it's too late. They panic. They react emotionally. They get overwhelmed. And instead of finding a way forward, they freeze, they quit, they give up. And that's why so many people never reach their full potential. It's not because they weren't smart enough or talented enough. It's because they weren't prepared for the inevitable challenges that come with growth, with success, with progress. If you're serious about winning in life, if you're serious about achieving something greater, you can't just wait until the challenge shows up and hope you'll figure it out in the moment. You need to decide in advance. You need to have a mindset, a strategy, a decision already made that says, no matter what happens, I will keep going. No matter what comes my way, I will not break. No matter how hard it gets, I will find a way through. Because when you've already made that decision, when you've already committed to pushing through no matter what, then nothing can stop you. You'll face the same obstacles as everyone else, but you won't crumble under them. You'll feel the same pressure, but you won't let it defeat you. It all starts in your mind. Before the struggle shows up, before the setback happens, before life tests you, you have to condition yourself to be unshakable. You have to develop the ability to look at challenges and say, this is not the end. This is just another step. This is just part of the process. Because when you see challenges that way, they stop being reasons to quit and start becoming opportunities to grow. Every great person you admire, every successful person you look up to, they've all faced moments where it would have been easy to give up. They've all had times where they could have said, this is too much. This is too hard. Maybe this isn't for me. But the reason they made it, the reason they succeeded, is because they had already decided, before the challenge even came, that quitting wasn't an option. You have to do the same. You have to train yourself to be the kind of person who keeps moving forward. No matter what, that means expecting difficulties, not being surprised by them. That means embracing the struggle instead of running from it. That means seeing every setback, every problem, every challenge as proof that you are on the right path. Because if there were no obstacles, if it was all easy, then everyone would be successful. But it's not easy, and that's why so many people don't make it. They aren't prepared. They don't decide in advance. They let their emotions control them, instead of controlling their emotions. And that's the difference. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. You can always control your attitude, your effort, your mindset. You can always control whether you see a challenge as an excuse to stop or a reason to push harder. You can always decide that no matter how tough it gets, you will not quit. That is what separates winners from everyone else. That is what makes the difference between success and failure. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's mindset. It's resilience. It's the decision to keep going when others give up. So decide now. Decide today, before the next challenge comes, that nothing will break you, that no obstacle will stop you, that no setback will be enough to make you quit. Because when you make that decision, when you commit fully, when you take quitting off the table, then no challenge will ever be strong enough to defeat you. The world is full of people who started strong, but gave up when things got tough. Don't be one of them. Be the kind of person who decides before the storm, before the test, that you will overcome whatever comes your way. That is the mindset of a champion. That is the mentality of someone who is unstoppable. And that is how you win. Number 10. Tell yourself, I own this day. From the moment you wake up, you have two choices. Take control of your day, or let the day control you. Most people wake up already on the defensive. They hit snooze, drag themselves out of bed, and immediately start reacting to notifications, emails, other people's demands. They don't own their day, they survive it. And that's why they feel stuck. That's why they feel like life is just happening to them instead of them making things happen. But that's not going to be you, because from now on, you are going to wake up with one thought in your mind. I own this day. That's a decision. It's a mindset. And when you make that decision first thing in the morning, everything changes. Your energy changes. Your focus changes. Your confidence changes. Because you're not walking into the day hoping it goes well. You're stepping into it with authority. You're saying, no matter what happens today, I'm in control. No matter what challenges come my way, I decide how I respond. No matter what unexpected situations arise, I will handle them on my terms. And when you start your day like that, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop letting external situations dictate how you feel, how you act, how you perform. Instead, you take full ownership of everything. Your mindset, your actions, your results. Most people don't even realize how much of their day they give away. They give their mornings to distractions, to scrolling, to procrastination. They give their energy to worrying about things they can't control. They give their focus to problems instead of solutions. And by the time the day is over, they feel drained, frustrated, unproductive. Not because they didn't have time, but because they didn't take control of it. But when you tell yourself, I own this day, you take all of that power back. You stop waiting. You stop reacting. You stop living like you're at the mercy of the world. And instead, you start attacking the day like someone who is in charge of their life. Think about the difference that makes. If you wake up and just drift through the day, hoping to be productive, hoping to get things done, hoping to feel motivated, nothing happens. But if you wake up and say, this is my day, I decide how it goes. I decide how I show up. I decide what I accomplish. Suddenly, everything shifts. You stop relying on motivation. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You stop letting excuses get in the way. Because when you own the day, you stop letting anything own you. Your doubts, your fears, your past failures. None of it has power over you anymore. Because you've already made up your mind that today belongs to you. And here's the thing. When you approach every day like this, you start stacking wins. One powerful day turns into two. Two turns into a week. A week turns into a month. And before you know it, you have momentum. You have results. You have proof that you are capable of so much more than you ever realized. But it all starts with one decision. I own this day. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now. Today. Because success isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create. It's something you build. And it starts the moment you decide to take control. So the next time you wake up, before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, before you let anything else into your mind, say it to yourself, I own this day. Say it like you mean it. Say it until you believe it. Because the way you start your day will determine how you live your life. And if you take control of your days, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. The secret to success is to start before you're ready. Now think about this. Every morning, you get a fresh start, a new chance. But what you do with it is up to you. You can wake up and waste time, letting distractions and excuses take over. Or you can wake up and take control, setting the tone for the entire day. The choice is always in your hands. No one is going to do it for you. No one is coming to push you out of bed. No one is going to force you to take action. It has to come from you. And the truth is, if you don't take charge of your day, someone else will. Your job, your responsibilities, other people's needs, they will all take priority if you let them. But when you decide before the day even begins, that this is your time, when you take that first action with purpose, when you commit to winning before the world even wakes up, you set yourself apart from the rest. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. The small things you do every morning, the first decisions you make, they add up. Over time, they shape your habits, your mindset, your results. And one day you'll look back and realize that it wasn't some big, dramatic moment that changed everything. It was the small choices, the discipline, the commitment to showing up for yourself every single day. So from this moment forward, no more wasting time, no more letting the day control you. You decide what happens. You decide how your day goes. And when you make that decision before the day even starts, success isn't just possible, it's inevitable.